story of the ice storm of 10 years ago, or, as I like to say, how we learned to stop praying for snow days. This is the exact 10-year anniversary today, and we actually happen to have an ice storm waiting for us outside. The ice storm of 2007 was one of the strangest events that I think I've ever seen. At school that day, everybody was talking about this ice storm that was coming in. As I went outside after school, it was drizzling, but it was like 50 degrees. I couldn't even imagine what everybody was talking about. It ended up being an event we'll never forget. The first night, Michelle and I had resigned ourselves to no snow day. You know, we had hoped we could have this fun evening where nobody had to worry about school the next day, but it was looking pretty improbable. We made coffee and we were sitting around having our coffee talk and decided to go out one more time and look at what was going on. We stood on the porch. It was just barely raining, still wasn't very cold, and we didn't realize in the atmosphere just how it was perfect for an ice storm of the kind we'd never seen before. I think it was about 8 o'clock. We heard this unbelievable crash. I thought something had hit the house, and when I went outside, a tree, a 100-year-old oak tree, this big around, it was about 6 feet in front of our porch, had fallen, thank goodness, along our circle drive. And that was the beginning of what would be almost like what it must have been to be at war 100 years ago. Trees were falling all over the place. For the next 48 hours, anytime you stepped outside, you would hear this crackling and snapping, hear trees falling, branches coming down. It was incredible. It's one thing I'll never forget. Michelle and I went to Kansas City and ended up getting a couple of generators. And one of the generators I bought was for Kevin Tuggle, and he and I went and visited an electrician friend of his. And at this point, we realized we weren't going to have electricity. The electric company was saying it could be a month. So we were trying to figure out how we were going to live in our house. And what we wanted to try to do was to wire the generators into the panel of our home. Anyway, he explained to us how to do it, and we decided we would do it at each other's houses. And to this day, neither one of us will actually take credit for the actual scariest part, which is pulling the meter out. Because the meter is, if there was any electricity running back through that line, you'd be electrocuted. And so I remember him doing it, and he remembers me doing it. So I think we're both suffering from some kind of traumatic amnesia about that whole event. So in conclusion, that is how we learn to stop praying for snow days. In the end, we were really grateful for all the things that we had. Firewood, we had a stove that worked, we had lots of kids to help get through the time, and it wasn't all bad, but it was definitely a flashback into how people lived without electricity. We went 15 days without electricity. So 10 years ago today, and thank goodness this ice storm is not nearly as traumatic so far. And that happened.